welcome to another day of StarLadder Season 6, day number 14. We have virtus.pro and Mouz here, and they are gonna play one game to see who gets the 3 points that will be appointed to the winner. We'll have 3 games today. We have also got a break in between the first and the second game, so bear with us during that. But for now, virtus.pro versus Mouz. I will not be alone today. I will be joined by Vykromond once again. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Yes, and we have a surprise. Well, kind of a surprise. I haven't really tried to make it a surprise, but it was a surprise because we actually have a third person here with the broadcast. Now, you won't hear him, but you'll see him. Oh, and sorry, K-poptosis, people can't see that. We have to say that you can't see that during the drafting phase. I'm actually
Dota TV can, but the stream cannot.
Oh yeah, Dota
right?
TV can. So during the game itself, you can see a lot of extra stats. So it is K-poptosis that will be our stats man for today, and he'll be giving you all kinds of insights and goodies on the game, on the players, on the teams. I don't know what he has in store for us. He has got polls. I don't know how it works, but we'll find out.
So there's a Twitch add-on that will let us do some polling, and you'll see poll results through the Dota TV feature. And then also K-pop has a way better grasp on the actual statistics and team histories and stuff than I do. So it'll be I think it'll be a nice little new feature to use.
I'm really excited. It's gonna be something that people really want to see again, because of course that's what we aim for here. We do have a game, obviously. We have got some surprising bans, because we have a ban for the Disruptor. That's not something that you see every day. We see Lone Druid, Nature's Prophet might not be that common either, Wisp common, but then Lifestealer or Bedrider making it through. There's Gyrocopter, Darkseer, and Silencer now picked up for virtus.pro, so we saw it yesterday, and we know why.
Yeah, VP are basically seeing that Mouz have a very targeted ban here. Cinderin is definitely banning against VP. So the IO ban, fairly standard, but the Disruptor absolutely trying to get away from some of these virtus.pro extremely high aggression early support combinations. So takes out that Disruptor. Basically, I think VP saw that, oh, we can't let Silencer go through to the second ban phase if we want him. So once again, we see the combo, the Darkseer Silencer that they've used very effectively. In this case, I would expect Cinderin on Mouz to actually ban out Naga Siren in the second phase, because VP have been using Naga a lot. Either he'll ban it, or he'll have to understand that VP will probably... I guess they have a Lifestealer, but they could go something like an aggressive Trialing with a Naga solo safe still. And that's, I think, very possible, actually.
Yeah, I would really like to see that again, even though that would be the 3rd time in a row, actually.
Right.
So maybe
they played this morning, too, against IC Cup, and I think they ran Naga at least once, maybe twice. They actually did get 2-0'd, so IC Cup getting back to their CIS team slaying standards.
That's actually interesting to note. That means, I mean, they are having a day full of games again. We know that yesterday they had a lot of different games also throughout the day. Today then as well, maybe a bit of fatigue playing here. We don't know just yet. I mean, we'll have to see that inside the game, but let's see what they're going for. I mean, I already like Mouz lineup very much as well. I mean, there's a Gyrocopter, Bedrider, 2 powerhouses, and a Shadow Demon with that, making for a very strong, already potential laning stage. And a lot of versatility as well, because Bedrider could go mid, could go in the jungle, could go on the off lane. We know that the aggressive Trialing is still possible. We know that there is still solo mid Gyro, perhaps. You mentioned yesterday that Fada liked to play him before people realized that he was easy to kill, but we don't know yet what virtus.pro has mid, so but the potential still there. We still have Magnus in the pool as well.
Definitely true. There's still a Magnus, there's still a Puck. So VP loves to play Taemai Wild on that Puck. We were talking yesterday in the virtus.pro versus, I can't remember who it was game, but Taemai Wild played an excellent Puck. Usually his deaths per game is kind of high on this hero relative to some other mid players. But yesterday I think he went 4-0 and 10 or something. Like, it was just it almost like he teared up on playing this Puck. So Taemai Wild definitely one to watch as he pilots this Puck in the middle, probably against Batrider, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too, but Mouz otherwise would have put themselves in a very tough spot. I mean, they banned out the Storm Spirit and the Queen of Pain. Of course, both in terms of compatibility with the Lifestealer, a bit more bursty than the Puck, because Puck, of course, can still be infested, but he's a bit less aggressive in terms of Lifestealer bombs. but still banning out everything that would be a good mid hero against that Puck as well. So Bat Rider mid most likely be the case. And now the Nyx Assassin who made it through, who hasn't been given that much love lately, but Shadow Demon Nyx Assassin, a roaming combination that we often see, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be fairly aggressive with that early game as well.
Definitely a support combination, as you said, that you can roam and get aggressive. Right now, I'm trying to piece my head around the... Also, Mouse Sports still have a lot of options. Like, they could even take the Magnus, run Bat Rider jungle, and then a tri-lane, and then they'd still have a very potent roaming force. Virtus.pro secured themselves the Beastmaster, and that means that one of these typically solo lane heroes will be going up into a tri-lane or a roaming consideration. And right now that kind of looks like it would be Darkseer.
Yeah, Darkseer can go in the jungle. Yeah.
You can jungle the Darkseer, Beastmaster would be solo lane and Puck mid. But then that leaves Lifestealer and Silencer in basically a mostly dual lane, because if the Darkseer's jungling, he can't really just come in and do too much for a while, until he gets about level 3 to 4. So this might leave a lane in which Mouz can field a solo lane hero and not have to worry too much about getting XP. Like, for instance, they could take Clockwork here, and I think it would... oh, sorry, of course they can't take Clockwork because he's banned. I, looked at the Clockwork face, and I was like, what is that hero? But there's a bunch of options that Mouz have to just get somebody levels on that solo lane, if they want it.
Very true. I kind of like the Beastmaster. I don't think we see enough of him. And, I mean, maybe I only like him because I know that when he is level 6, he has to go for kills, otherwise he's basically useless. But I kind of think we can compare him to the Bat Rider in that case. And if the Beastmaster reaches level 6 before the Bat Rider does, even though they might not be on the same lane or might not have the same kind of role, I think that Virtus.pro is going to be looking good if they indeed have that potential.
They go with Clix. So this is kind of fun. What they can do is run the solo Clinks and the aggressive try, for instance. And that's actually pretty strong because Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin, Gyrocopter is very capable of contesting what has to be more or less a dual lane. And then Clinks won't really have that much issues dueling Beastmaster either.
But do you think... I actually think Beastmaster mid then. And then Clinks will be up against...
Oh, Clinks against Puck?
Against Puck, yeah. Actually, it could be either. I think Clinks against Puck wouldn't be too bad either. Clinks is a very strong laner if he's a solo lane.
Yeah, Clinks won't really get crushed in either of those lanes. The Beastmaster has almost no chance to kill the Clinks, at least until level 6. Puck actually does have a chance to kill Clinks, because Clinks is low HP, he doesn't deal that great damage in the first few levels, depending on how aggressive Tim My Wild wants to be. If they end up solo versus solo, you could see that being tough for Black.
Yeah, now people can actually see that I also have the Statman listed on my overlay. Ooh. So that is interesting. Ooh, there we go. First stat already. So be prepared for stats all through the game.
I think it'll be good. And yeah, I mean, basically, these teams actually haven't played each other that much. I think the last time that they played each other was in the G1, the Western Qualifier Series. I believe Mouse Sports won that 2-1. But yeah, that was over a month ago, maybe even more. Mouse, of course, were busy for a while with the International 3 West Qualifiers, which Virtus.pro did not have to participate in, as they received the, I think, the first CIS team direct invite.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Maybe together with Na'Vi, actually.
Na'Vi there was a whole controversy. Well, not a mini controversy, because Na'Vi were in the second wave of invites.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people were like, oh, will Na'Vi get an invite? And I mean, of course they will. It was the least controversial controversy of all time.
Yeah, but Virtus.pro, they are a strong team. They are one of these teams. I mean, they're not just a strong team. They have been a stable, strong team. Well, even though you just said that IC Cup was able to get 2 wins of them today. But Virtus.pro, in my eyes, have been a stable team for a long time. Just in terms of performance, even their lineup, not really switching that much. Mouse Sports, I have to say, since the Western qualifiers, they have been stable in their performance. But before that, they were a bit flaky. So if it's already this even with 5-6 in the score between these two teams before Mouse Sports got that Western qualifier victory, I'm actually would favor almost Mouse Sports in this matchup.
I kind of agree. It's tough to say with the drafts. I think both teams have actually drafted compositions that can work very well. A lot of questions in this game are going to revolve around Black's performance. So if he's able to get Clinks is a very, very hard, like, he has a very, very rigid, you could almost say calcareous item progression where he has to go brown boots straight to Orchid, then either your tier 2 boots or BKB. And the faster the Orchid comes, the better they're going to do. For instance, if Black can gank Arsart on the Silencer repeatedly, Arsart's going to have a horrible time, and he's not going to be able to do that big Silencer damage later on. If Black gets 3v1'd, or if he gets pressured very hard early, as VP are at least seeking to get the first blood on him, keep in mind, Arsart's holding Dust. So if Black just dies the whole time, Mouz are going to struggle. But I agree, I think Mouz's form has been a little better than VP's, although both teams look good.
Yeah, we'll see how they will deal with this, because we all know how this works. Like, we have
dang.
seen... What?
100% win rate with Silencer for VP.
Oops. That is... yeah. Okay. So we know that Arsart is strong with Silencer. I mean, we've seen it before. We mentioned it yesterday. We mentioned it today. He's been basically a semi-carry every time he plays a support Silencer. But that actually spells quite a bit of trouble. I wasn't aware that it was actually 100%. That's impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
The battle begins.
Yeah.
Should we introduce the teams?
Yeah, we are seeing Black playing his signature Kalings, who's gonna get caught out, but there is no shutdown for him right now, and the rest of the team already backed out. We see that Illidan is having a haste rune though. With that, he is trying to cut off Black. The dust will be popped. Black is getting open wounded, axed, silenced, and killed in the first blood to Illidan. Airman, Storm Rage.
And let there be no end to it.
And I figured I'd let Lifestealer end my sentence.
Play us off.
Yeah, and let there be no end to it. There we go. But aggressive tri... This is an interesting aggressive tri-lane. We have a support Beastmaster.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Or not.
VP, they play such different sort of support lineups, and they just have a very different way. They just secure the first blood, which already gives Beastmaster most of the way through level 1, a very nice start, and you can see Mouz needing to rotate their supports. So just
Beastmaster being left alone. This is brilliant for virtus.pro. They got what they wanted. Top lane free farming, but maybe they're getting a bit more than what they wanted because NS in a bit of trouble. There will be a disable coming off from Synderen. Is there enough damage is the question. It actually doesn't look like it. There's not even a shield. That was just not enough damage.
Basically, they traded one cast of Impale and one cast of Disruption for Healing Salve, which is actually a pretty reasonable trade because they have like 2 or 3 more casts before they run out of mana. You can see that NS realizes, see, now he really can't go back to the lane because he only had 1 Healing Salve to work with.
Yeah, he'll be going to the top lane / jungle. But that all happened while we were introducing the player. I only basically introduced Black, but you already saw Synderen on his Nyx Assassin. It's really awkward to pronounce that very fast.
It is.
But it is his Nyx Assassin. Fada on a Bad Rider, no surprise there, as we see actually the Nino stand in here today. With jungling a bit, or stacking a bit, it will be playing the Shadow Shaman. It will be Koifa on his Gyrocopter off lane, and that's everybody of Mouz.
Shadow Demon, not Shadow Shaman, just for what it's
Shadow
worth.
Demon! Shadow Demon.
I just wanted to point that out because soon we'll have to actually remember that Shadow Shaman is a hero. Right now I don't care, but he's getting a pretty big buff, so maybe gonna be a relevant hero once again. Looking towards virtus.pro, their tri-lane composed, well, they don't really have a tri-lane. VP are doing something very interesting here, but we'll talk about their heroes. So we have Airman, Illidan Stormrage up on this Lifestealer. Arsart is the support silencer that they've seen a 100% success rate with. Then we have a dual jungle from NS and KSI on the Beastmaster and Darkseer respectively. NS just finding some rare early XP as Beastmaster, not going for ancient stacking. And that leaves Tame My Wild in the middle as the puck going up against Fata's Bat Rider.
Yeah, and he is actually 12 to or 13 to 2 right now, with Fada setting off 13 to 3. So it's a very even lane. We know that this is a skill matchup. It will just depend on like who is gonna make those first kind of ballsy moves and who will be the one to either profit from that for trying to get the other one to overextend, or who will actually be ballsy enough to get the kill.
So basically, Mouz are in kind of a tough position here where they want to guarantee some farm for Quirk on this Gyrocopter. He's actually in a lot of trouble here. Arsart has used the last word. He's going to take nice disruption from Nino Dota, saving him from the damage to the last word. Will it be enough, though? Looks like no, maybe? Actually, he
it
escapes.
is. And Beastmaster is the one to go down because Synderen came in with that double impale, and they
Arsart.
might get Arsart as well. Salva's being popped though, and Synderen should probably go. Oh, he
Syn
is
might
doing
die to
this.
tower damage.
This is a bit overextending, and this is
so
a tower
bad.
damage. He's trying to get the kill, but no, he cannot. That's the first couple of intellect going to
Vykromond.
Arsart. In the meantime, yeah, the Nino still was able to kill off the Shadow Demon.
What a wacky fight that was. Back and forth. Synderen found himself in a trap that I find myself in extremely frequently, where you just don't quite have enough movement speed or damage to bring somebody down onto their tower.
Is he actually sticking around?
He might die to the last. No, he doesn't. He's okay. He's not gonna die to this. He
Yes,
will
he is.
die. I was wrong. Ouch. That's four intelligence for Arsart already.
That was a level
Tower.
2 last word.
I thought it was level 1 still, but he actually got the XP from the Nyx
Yeah.
Assassin dying.
Oh my god, that's just 2
That's
kills. Go. Silencer 100% win rate. Well, I'm not sure if it's Arsart or if it's just a bit misplay from Mousesports, because I think both instances, I mean, Synderen could have backed off and lived. Koikfa could have ran with his life and lived. But Arsart just profits from the ballsiness of Mousesports.
Yeah.
Cockiness even, and just gets 2 kills.
There's a number of problems for Mousesports here. One is that Arsart, of course, is getting pretty good development as this hard support silencer. Level 4 has Last Word, level 2 already for Instillin. Another problem, well actually Tame My Wild almost certainly going down to Fata here. No, very nice blink, but he has 9 stacks.
In comes Ernesto, he is level 3, has got some access still, is just chasing them away, but Arsart, of course, coming in with the last word. Is there more? Is there any kind of shutdown? Tame Wild coming in as well, Dream Coil is there, access, and that is another kill going the way of the silencer, support silencer. Yes,
Yeah.
Arsart.
Arsart is kind of controlling this game, frankly, from the 5 position, more or less. Although, I guess you could say that NS roaming half-jungle Beastmaster is really the 5. Another thing is that Airman actually has 15 denies on this Lifestealer, so he's managed to keep Koikwo very, very slow to develop. You can see a level 6 Lifestealer facing up against a level 4 Gyrocopter. Mouse are really struggling in every lane except Black, so even despite giving up First Blood, Black actually farming quite well. He has Power Treads just for a little bit more speed and survivability. He has his Ring of Akala for armor and stats, and now you'll see him probably rush for that Orchid.
Yeah, and one thing that of course is always the case with these kind of lanes, with these kind of playstyle, which we also saw with Empire, of course, a while back. You have got... Wait a second, that was Fada getting himself a kill with a Flame Break. This time he did get Tame My Wild.
Yeah,
And
he's
the-
been
yeah.
very aggressively stacking Sticky Napalm, so you can see he's actually maxed it first, and he's just constantly, even to the exclusion of last hits sometimes, just constantly stacking it up on Tame My Wild. Will he get the Courier? No, he's going to go for KSI. KSI way out of position here, frankly.
Yeah, some
No way
flames
he
too annoying.
survives.
He doesn't have a surge anymore. He is so dead. That's another kill for Fada. And
Very
even without
smart.
the haste rune, he could have gotten that, I think.
Yeah. I think he could have. I mean, he had Lasso. If he didn't have the haste, he would have had to use the Lasso. But because he did have the haste, he didn't use the Lasso. He actually still has it. Nice silence. Tame My Wild completely saved by his silence there.
Yeah, Synderen did came in just in case there was indeed a lasso, but haste will run out, and that's gonna be Tame My Wild safe for now. Or, well, it might not be Fada safe though. Nice dodge on
Tame
the
My Wild
R.
can't solo this. There's no way.
No, and he is by himself. Arsart does not have a TP in his inventory this time either, so won't be there as fast as last time. And S in the meantime, level 3. I mean, he is the one that's really having a tough time with levels. Wait a second, Synderen coming in, Flame Break helping out. There's a silent, but here comes the Impale. There is no feet, no face
And
shift yet,
lasso.
and that is a lasso, and that's a kill for Synderen.
This is very smart usage of Lasso and smart non-usage of Lasso, as unintuitive as that may seem from Fata. Saving it for when he can actually use it to secure a kill is very smart. And we gotta talk about the fact that Fata, level 9, 2 levels ahead of anybody on the map. That's a Bat Rider that's getting very scary very early.
Yeah, and we know that, oh wait a second,
Oh.
top lane. They open wounds up on Koikfa, there's also the last word, but so far they just want to go for some extra harassment on the tower. Maybe find an opening. But yeah, I mean, even though they're not really winning that top lane, and they're still a very scary silencer on the map, both Black and Fada are having a good time. So they are the heroes that can turn the game around when they reach their levels, / when they have their Orchid up.
Yeah, in all fairness, Mouz aren't doing that bad by any means. So the main thing is that the tri-lane heroes aren't getting levels relative to VP's non-tri-lane. So you have a 4/5 Beastmaster and a 3/5 Nyx Assassin and Shadow Demon. So that's kind of a problem. Obviously, Quakewa is underleveled, but he does have some last hits.
Fada in some trouble, finding 3 heroes of opposing team, but a TP comes in. Fada flying himself away, and Ness running through flames, not where you should be.
Ooh, Ness
and he
disruption.
goes down, disruption there, up on Arsart, and Arsart in a lot of trouble right there, but he should be able to run away from this one, and he indeed does.
Yeah. His one charge has managed to save him.
Oh, Timo Wild not done yet, or is he? Stick charges, wants to go for the Nino. Nino needs a couple more last hits though. Oh, they find an illusion. Well, that's a shame.
Ouch. That's I don't think they. It would have been weird if that was the real Bat Rider. I think they just decided they might as well. So one neat thing about Mouse Sports recently, and I think this is one of the things that's making them get better and better as a team, is you know how we talk about how Roxkiss kind of people started banning against them because they figured out their sort of low carry hero pool?
Yeah.
I feel like Mouz is almost doing the exact reverse. Quakewa used to be thought of as only a guy who only played Nature's Prophet and sometimes like Lone Druid or Clockwork. I mean, his Clockwork was very famous in the Western qualifiers. But what we're seeing Mouz do is they put this Lifestealer and Gyrocopter for Quakewa. I've actually never seen him on Gyro before, or maybe I've seen him once. But the idea is that if you draft those heroes early, everyone will think that you want them for black. But if Quakewa can play them just as well, you have that advantage. So in this game, we saw VP banning a lot of Quakewa heroes to no effect because he just ended up playing the Gyro anyway.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We saw the Clockwork, for example, being one of those bans, and yeah, that definitely gives an edge, the versatility of players, and I think that's something that when Up to the Inn just got formed, they said that as well. Like, we want to have like flexible roles a bit, or at least that's what they said when they first started, just for that very reason, just so that you don't ban out heroes specifically for players.
Exactly, and the next patch will help with that too. I think the more versatile you can play, the better off you'll be in the 2-2-1 banning system. We got to talk real quick. Yes. That is such excellent timing. I was just about to talk about Black's farm here. Black, of course, considered one of the best, if not the best farmers in the Western scene, and considering some of the famous Chinese player farmers haven't been doing so hot lately, I think we're starting to see this guy in contention for the best farm in the world. You can see that he has more than 8 creep kills per minute right now, 11 minutes into the game, so that's very, very quick progression. Sorry, I should say he's at a little more than 7.5. So that'll be a quick Orchid for Black, even though he didn't wait to do it. Like, he didn't rush it. He got the Akala and the Treads. He didn't just go Brown Boots. And that's how confident he is that he can get that farm, even after getting First Blooded.
Yeah, and he's been left alone for a while, but he now has KSI up against him, and those Iron Shells are level 4, and they really hurt Black a lot. So this is not even an easy lane anymore. This is something that he has to last it under his tower. He actually is able to eat the creeps with the Iron Shell, so that really helps a lot, as we have got the Blink Dagger picked up by Fada. Now that's gonna give a change of pace in this game.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. We didn't talk about the Darkseer versus Klink's matchup, but once Klink's hit 6, the ability to quickly death pact a Ion Shell lets you control the lane positioning much easier, and of course it means you don't have to last hit under tower quite as much. Not that Klink's has that much trouble with that.
He blinks.
Vasa, wow.
Goes for Tamar Wild, phase shift already used, there goes an Impale, and a Mana Burn, and a Flame Break, and that is the end of the puck. Nicely done.
Yeah. He's playing really excellently actually today on this Bat Rider. Really, really impressive.
And that was of course a surprise element as well, because I don't think Tamar Wild already saw that Blink Dagger to be there. As we have got the net worth in favor of Black, but Airman is actually pretty close. Of course he got those 2 kills early on, so he does have that extra gold in his pocket, but he's really not doing bad. And he's also one of those heroes that, you know, if you leave him alone, he is not going to be becoming any easier to take down. So Armlet will probably be on the way. Actually, what is on the way? It is it is the Armlet actually, so that's that.
It's the entirety of the rest of the Armlet, and that's actually pretty good timing for Illidan. It's going to make him much more effective earlier. That Armlet really is critical for Lifestealer. Just to give him the ability to get away from fights, get into fights, efficient stats, it's great. And he's going to use it immediately.
Yeah, Global Silence being used for this as well. Some communication helping out, and that is a Shadow Demon. Just fresh food. And Infest into the range creep will not allow Fada to do anything about that. He already popped his Firefly. And that range creep is, it's probably not even going to die this go.
Yeah, this Firefly is actually hurting them because it makes the rage creep less likely to die. Yep. So, Airman using the we've seen this twice now. They pick up an item and they immediately use it. That's very, very smart. Use it when the other players don't know. KSI in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, it was a setup for a gank up on Black with Tamar Wild also being around there. He picked up dust and everything. But Black, he just makes it into a counter gank with having Synderen come in with the first Vendetta, or with a Vendetta. And that is KSI going down. So very nicely done, as we see actually Quakefar very low on life, but he should be fine.
They do get the tower trade, so this is even more free space for Airman. Like, he's able to get his next item after Armlet pretty easily, because Mouz can't easily rotate over to gank.
Yeah, and they actually rotate some people more into bottom. Quakefar now continuing to farm here. Maybe Black saying, you know what? You take this lane, I got my Orchid, I'm gonna hunt.
Again, if they want to keep Silencer down, Silencer had a much better early game than they may have wanted. He's 3-0-2, Arsart, so if Black can start hunting this, hunting Arsart on Silencer and killing him off, it'll actually, how do they know? Did they just ping his exact location? My god! Map hacks! They don't have wards!
They don't have wards. It is just intuition and just game sense overall, and maybe a bit of, you know, where else would he be?
That's true.
He's not on any of the lanes, so he has to be in the jungle. And there goes a tier 1 tower mid. That's the first tower to go down on the side of VP, as we see Arsart backing off there. And there was a blink in. There is a nice stack there for Fada, so he'll gladly take that one. As we have some pressure on the tier 2 top coming off from Illidan. There's nobody defending this just yet. He has just been given free reign right here, so this is Mousesports confident enough to know that they can take on that guy later on. Actually, Synderen forcing him back, taking some at farm. But yeah, we have got some smokes though.
Mouz really stealing a giant amount of farm opportunity in the jungle here. Arsart spent quite a bit of time. Actually, Arsart and NS stacked that camp so they could get the XP from it later when Airman went and just killed it all with one big infest. And now that actually goes to Mouz. So you can see on the XP graph, Mouz actually almost 5k ahead. And part of that is the awkward laning from virtus.pro. And part of it is just, you know, Mouz taking some control of the map, especially with this tier 1 bot still alive. VP attempting smoke gank, but Mouz just playing so well this game in terms of positioning.
Oh, they have the gem. Black will die.
Nice gem.
I believe they have a gem anyways. It should be on the dark. It's actually on the Beastmaster.
Which is the exact right person to put it on. Obviously, it gives the vision to the bird. You can just have the bird perching somewhere in your jungle or in the opposing jungle, and you'll always spot that Clinks out. Mouz really actually need to kill this Beastmaster and try to secure this gem, because otherwise Clinks is going to have not the game you need him, which is a snowballing game.
Yeah, and this will be a tier 1 tower bottom. virtus.pro, they smoked up for this. I'd say good results. Killing off Black, killing off tower, getting some gold into that progress, and actually with both of those activities, they get themselves Airman highest on net worth right now. Barely, but still, it is there. In the meantime, Mouz is also smoked up. They are looking for a tier 1 tower top of their own, but are hoping that someone comes in to defend, because then they can go in and kill people.
VP are way better configured to fight right now. I mean, they have a mechanism, Mouz doesn't. They have pretty good support levels, Mouz doesn't. They have global silence available. They finally catch out NS. This could be an enormous kill, but if he survives, it would be a giant waste of time for Mouz.
Yeah, Impale's there. Flame break, that's it. They get it. But there's a global silence. Fada in a lot of trouble, will die as well. Demonic Purge will slow down Airman. That will help a lot. The Nino trying to TP out should actually be able to do just that. There we go, and Synderen.
Oh,
he has the gem. He has to run, but I don't think he can. Spike Kipper, he denies the gem, knows that he is going down. Impales on 2, he's gonna try to buy some time, but they are chasing him down. Neutral creeps will chase him down as well, actually try to slow down some of the opponents. Oh, what would you give for a Centaur right now? There goes the open wounds. Impale only hits on Tamar Wild, and he still goes down, but he wasted a lot of time of those people and destroyed the gem. That is a big win for Mouz.
Yeah, frankly, it would be worth all 3 of them dying, and if they had gotten the gem. And so the fact that only 2 of them died is actually a big win for Mouz, especially when you consider that during that time, Black actually killed Arsart for the first time. So this Clinks is, now that gem is down, like if you take a look at the gem cooldown, Sheever, and there's Tamar Wild, he's going, he's gone probably. The Orchid damage is going to kill him.
Yep, there it is. And that's just the start. We see instantly 3 people of virtus.pro. They come in, they know they have to shut that guy down. Oh, he's gonna walk past the wards. That is some bad luck for Black, but here comes Fada. He has got a lance too, but a flame break will just be enough to save his team member. So
they had 3 seconds on the roar cooldown. There was if roar had actually happened, no chance that Fata could do anything to save black there. But there's a 6-minute cooldown on this gem. 6 minutes that they won't have access to that global sort of understanding of where black is. You can see that VP immediately spamming sentries to try to simulate the effect of having that gem that they lost.
And how much money that goes into that. I mean, that is a huge cost that they have to invest there, or invest rather. Too much life stealers on my mind. We're gonna see black on the hunt once again. I'm just following him. He's gonna be finding Tame Wild once again. There's the Orchid and the hits and the kill. No escape. And this is a very dangerous Klings right here.
Yeah, it's very good play, honestly. Once they were able to get the gem, Mouz automatically gain effective map control of just a large part of the map. And so VP actually looks to be sneaking Rush with the smoke. This is pretty smart. It's actually a good response to Mouz, because that's the one area where Klinks is not going to be tremendously effective. Like, he can run in, but he'll just get dusted out and killed immediately.
Yeah, this is a good way to get virtus.pro back in the game, because they're not really in the game. Even though Airman has got his Desolator, so he's bumping out a lot of damage, but I mean, they don't really have the opportunity to do that. If they want to fight, they want to be there with, of course, everybody, and that's going to be something that black is going to make sure is not going to happen. And in the meantime, Mouz constantly pressuring virtus.pro. They are the ones who determine the pace of the game right now, and they're going to take the tier 2 tower after already taking a tier 1. So Mouz gives up a Roshan and take a tier 1 tower and half the damage of a tier 2. Yeah, global silence. They catch out Synderen. The infest was there as well. Spike Carap is gonna try to do something, but it doesn't matter. Synderen goes down for that. Actually with kills. Ooh, with the neutrals. The creeps rather. Almost took down him.
Right. Interesting thing about this game, if we played this game in a week, there would be a massively different outcome, actually, because Synderen, what virtus.pro did to catch out Synderen after he stole the gem, he actually drops the gem and denies it. It's a very big play, but the interesting, black walked over the sentry ward there. You can see just how pros pay attention to the map. They immediately spot the half second that black actually walked through that sentry. But I was going to say, gem cannot be destroyed like that next patch. You can't just put it on the ground and kill it. If you lose it, the other team has it. So VP would have been able to recover their gem if only this was the 6.78 world.
Yep. Yep, and then at some point later on in the game you can have zillions amounts of gem, even though you know that you don't need more than one. Possibility is there. Possibility is there. So we have a bit of a stalemate. I think Mouse Sports is gonna wait until they can find someone again and then try to take a tower. They still have a tier 1 tower of bot standing. We have got Fada building a BKB rather than a 4-staff.
Wow.
And wow.
Yeah, I mean, he is 7-0-0. One other interesting thing about Airman in this game is actually the rushed Desolator. So this is a far more early effectiveness concerned item than what you usually see lifestealers build at this point. So he's not going speed, for instance. He's not at all. He doesn't have phase boots. He doesn't have drums. None of that. He's going pure damage, and he's going pure to help early 5-man and push. Desolator lowers the armor of towers as well. While VP have a mechanism, and Mouz are still very far away from it, you can see that Nino has just begun the mechanism. They can afford to actually be fairly aggressive and try to take quick tower trades, and I think that's what they're doing here.
Yeah, we do have the BKB now also up on Quakefa. He is still farming. I mean, he's not been in the limelight that much. We haven't actually seen him in anything. He doesn't have any assists of any of the 11 kills that are done by Mouse Sports. He's just been farming. Of course, he had a tough lane top earlier on, and he needs that time to farm, as we do see indeed the pressure from virtus.pro here on his lane. And yeah.
So Tame My Wild he finished his blink, and you can just see how much of a different game Tame My Wild has had versus Fata. Just in that, Tame My Wild's blink came a full 10 minutes later than Fata's blink. And we have 4-2-2 on Batrider. Already, actually, he's done with his BKB. In 22 gold, he will have a full BKB. Unless yeah, I think that's correct. So that's very, very impressive, honestly. Wait, am I crazy? Does he actually have it?
Well,
I can't tell. No, he doesn't. So he's 22 gold away from his BKB, whereas Puck has just barely hit blink. And you can see Tame My Wild has had a very hard game. Is 0-5-5. Now I think hitting blink will help that, but he's really struggled.
Yeah, interesting to know that that Batrider is indeed rushing a BKB. Normally we see him going for 4 staffs before anything else. But yeah, the global silence. But he will still have to deal with that roar.
The roar is a problem, but he's unlikely to actually get roared before he does something like lasso and jump in. And if he rushed Lincoln's, the BKB would still completely mess him up. The silencer is actually a bigger problem for the Batrider than the Beastmaster is. If you're getting roared, I mean, it's just the problem is silencer has multiple things that screw you over, right? Like, he has Last Word as well, which doesn't let you chain together your spells at all. If you Firefly while Last Worded, hey, now you can't Lasso. If you Lasso, now you can't Napalm or Flamebreak or what have you.
True, and I guess on top of that, you're kind of forcing the roar to be used on you if they still want to stop that lasso from going off, which will leave both Black and Quoikva free to hit anything that they really want to.
Yeah. 1 minute left. 1 minute for VP's new gem, so they'll probably pick that up as soon as possible. They'll put it on Beastmaster again, wander around with the boar, clear out any Mouz wards, clear out Clinks, try to spot him somewhere, get Roar on him and win, because Clinks actually, Black has not gotten that much in the way of kills. He's 4-2, so he's had a good game. He has finished his BKB, but other than that, he hasn't really been like the snowballing slayer, and so that's got to give Mouz at least a little bit of pause, even though currently they are ahead in the game.
Yeah, but they need a lot more before they can start going up high ground. Perhaps they can go for, oh, we have another disconnect, for the tier 2 tower bottom after taking that down. But they still need pickoffs before they go in. They can't win a 5-on-5 fight right now. They need the Clinks to be able to make the fight 4-on-5.
Yeah, I agree. The Lifestealer is such a big deal and difficult to actually bring down. One thing that they can actually try doing, if Mouz completely catch VP out, and that's actually possible right now because VP's warding has completely expired. All of those sentries that they placed around the map are gone. They have no observers. They just have the one sentry ward down in near the bottom tier 2, which was to defend themselves. If Mouz catch Lifestealer out and Clinks leads with the Orchid, you could actually see Airman being brought down. He's not that tanky. He's got Armlet and Power Treads, which is good HP. But I think the entire team could bring him down no problem. If they throw out like a Demonic Purge and the Orchid and then Clinks damage, yeah.
For sure. We actually, yeah, I mean, you mentioned that there's no sentry wards apart from that bottom one anymore. We actually only have one dust on the map on the side of virtus.pro that can actually still do something against Clinks right now. So they're really needing that gem. We do have enough gold up on our start to get it though. So they are really counting on that, I would expect. We've got 2,300 gold up on Airman. Pretty rich. Kind of curious to see what he's going to go for. Will it still be a Sanjin Yasha? Who knows? I'm kind of hoping that it will be because you're going to be up against the Clinks. I mean, you need to have that movement speed somehow.
I actually suspect that he won't go the Sanjin Yasha simply because he hasn't really signaled it so far, and it's very expensive just to pay for movement speed.
Yeah.
He can do things like, for instance, go drums if he wants the movement speed, and he gets almost as much for way less money. We might see Heart, even though it's not that common this early. I think Airman builds we're gonna see a Cuirass and or Mjolnir. So Cuirass would be very good. Get your compatriots a little bit of armor, so that Clinks can't kill them so fast.
And they smoke up, looking for a pick-off. I mean, look at Mousepores, by the way. They have just taken control over the dire jungle. Those wards still standing there, claiming it all. But top lane, there is Black standing as well as the Nino. I mean, this is quite obvious bait, though, if you see a Shadow Demon this far up. I guess they don't care that much. They're just going to go for it. Disruption is going to be there. And I'd say this is successful bait. Black TP's out. This is not worth a smoke for virtus.pro. Picking up just one solo farming Shadow Demon.
VP, it's true that VP is a team that really likes to use smoke effectively, and so that was actually, I think, their last smoke. Yes, it was. They have 4 minutes until they can actually smoke again, and we know that VP loves to roam. We know that they like to generate the kill opportunities, so that's actually a really good point, Sheever. I was going to say, like, well, you know, 1 kill's still a kill, but it's a kill on the least valuable target. He's still, I mean, he's not close to Mechanism, or actually, no, he's 500 away, so he's close-ish to it. But you don't get Black, and you don't have another smoke opportunity for 4 minutes. That makes you more predictable as a team. By the time they get their next smoke, Roshan will be a minute away.
Oh, Farah. He just blinked himself in there. But he has a haste rune, so gets away from the open wounds. Tier 1 tower, though, last one standing on the map, will go down. Flame break, pushing Airman back, doing a lot of damage here, but
yeah. Look
they
at how
still
much
don't wanna
damage
go
he's
in.
taking.
Yeah,
It's really grim, honestly. That's with Armlet on.
and this is actually, I mean, if that Shadow Poison would have been a bit longer, that actually could have been a kill. They're going in still, though. The tier 2 tower bottom, in the meantime, was taken down by both Quakefa and Black. They were doing that. We've got an Infested Lifestealer up on Tame My Wild, so he's gonna sit there a bit safer. I was gonna say, gonna be opening up on the Nyx Assassin, able to do that, but the Demonic Purge comes here. This is, I mean, this is not worth it. Again, the godlike streak ended. Buyback coming off from Cinderin, KSI lassoed, and that is also him going down, and a gem on the floor, mind you. He had that in his inventory. It is now Fada that has a gem. That was the second gem that they have and lose within a couple of minutes of obtaining it. Ennis, running for his life. Cinderin, want to get a bit of revenge, has got another impale in just a second, will be able to stop Ennis with that, and actually gets a kill with that as well, and that is 3 for 1 of a support Nyx Assassin for Virtus.pro. Didn't even get the tower. I would say that's just, that was desperation kind of play that you'd see there.
That was just a small mistake by VP. They knew they had to use the Aegis before it expired to try to get some advantage, and as K-pop just pointed out, it expired mere moments. That's why he was at such low health. I mean, he still had the Aegis at that time. He was 13, he was 9-0, and he just loses the Aegis and immediately dies right after that. I actually thought VP played pretty smart. They do actually still have a gem. That was Mouz's gem. So they kill Cinderin. They did a lot of work to kill him to steal the gem back. And the idea was everybody except Lifestealer escapes. Lifestealer dies, rages on his Aegis, and then TP's out.
But who has the gem now on Virtus.pro? Because the gem that Fada has is the one from an S.
Oh, huh. No, you're right. I was looking at the wrong team. That's my bad.
Ah. Okay, I was just confused there for a second. We see Virtus.pro, they have got one thing left to do. Stick together, farm it out.
Yep. Tough situation for VP, honestly. A lot of their resources completely given away. Yeah, I mean, as you said, the gem, no smoke available for another about minute and a half. You can just see that they're 5-manning because otherwise Clinks is too scary. But Mouz have done something clever with their draft here. They're not all in on Clinks. If Clinks is forcing you to 5-man, Mouz is so happy with that because it also gives an opportunity for Quakewa to continue developing.
Yeah, I mean, Quakewa still, I mean, he's still only been involved in really 2 kills. Of course, those were the ones that were just happening on the middle lane. But he's picked himself up a Demon's Edge. He's got 2,500 gold. He's almost ready to get his MKB there. And, you know, he is that silent secret weapon that Mousesports still have up their sleeve. Should indeed Black not work out completely.
Right.
And the way it's going right now, they might not need him at all.
Right, exactly. I mean, Quakewa's doing pretty well. He's got the Demon Edge. He'll actually have a Monkey King bar, which is almost certainly what he's building. In about 300 more gold, you know, 1,300 or so if he wants to save buyback, which it seems like they probably do. The game is still delicate enough that if you just die outright, it's very, very painful. They actually used a very smart buyback on Cinderin in the last game, so he's not rich for a Nyx Assassin, but he does have this 1,000 gold. It was a really good buyback to help lock down Airman right after he lost the Aegis.
Yeah.
Quirras almost up though. He's only about 1,200 away.
The Lifestealer, yes. And he actually picks up his last remaining item for the Salt Caress. Airman.
Oh, he had the recipe.
Yeah, he had the.
So he's done. Yeah.
He had the recipe, I think, in the couriers. Yes, there we go. And with that, they'll fight for Roshan. Because if Mousesports gets their hands on this Aegis right now, that's gonna put Virtus.pro, well, within their base, basically, because with that Aegis, Mousesports should be able to go high ground. And without it, they will wait until Virtus.pro doesn't have an Aegis anymore.
Right. Mouz are taking enough control of the map and farming so much better, even in terms of getting levels for their heroes, that they're okay with the game being fairly static. But so if they don't get the Aegis, I agree, they might not necessarily want to high ground, but they can play safe. There's the roar,
They
spotted
find
out.
Black. Where's the damage though? It's not there. It is not there. They're too afraid of the entire Mouse team being around the corner, which actually was kind of true. They did see Cinderin walking past because they do have that ward hanging there, and Bird now as well. That Bird actually goes down.
Right. Losing the roar is a huge deal considering the fact that Roshan actually has respawned.
Yeah. You need that if you want to fight for it. They do have that global silence. They do have a Darkseer. I mean, a Darkseer wall. They have still got a lot of team fight potential. Also, of course, with the puck and the Dream Coil and everything. But you're up against a couple of powerhouses that won't be easy to take down. Basically, there is 2 people as highly farmed as a Lifestealer is.
Oh, nice smoke. They're going to blink and force staff and lasso on probably Illidan.
Yeah, there we go. BKBs gets turned on all around. Cooldown coming down up on 3, but Airman, he tries to eat up Black, and Black actually has to run from this one. Demonic Purge is going to be there, though. SNS already hit the deck. It is going to be Illidan running for his life. Won't be able to do so. Now Tame My Wild can't run either. Will go down as well, and that is 3 heroes on the sideline, with only Synderen being the one to fall on the side of Mouz Sports. There goes Arsart. No hope for him either. That's a triple kill for Blacks. Klinks Assassin? What the hell? Klinks! And KSI will be going back to base. I actually like Klinks Assassin better right now because he is really an assassin right now.
Bone Fletcher Assassin, we can put it that way. It seemed like VP might actually make some of that fight early. They did bring down Klinks to about half health quickly, and they just couldn't deal the rest of the damage. Even the Global Silence didn't save them there from just the amount of damage Mouz just pounded onto their door, and unfortunately that's the Roshan as well as that big teamfight victory. If you're VP, you really can't approach this. The Bat with Force Staff and Blink Dagger is simply too strong to actually contest.
Yeah, and with the Gem of True Sight, there's no escape either. I mean, we saw Puck, he had that Invis rune in his bag, so he thought he was going to be able to get out with it, but yeah, the Gem... It was just there. There's nothing left for virtus.pro right now than to hide in their base and just hope that Mouz Sports makes a mistake while trying to push up high ground. But the trouble is, like Mouz Sports, as you already pointed out, they don't need to go up high ground. They're okay with just, you know, taking their own pace, just taking it slow. And that will make sure that virtus.pro, they don't really have the freedom to really farm all that much. So this is basically a starvation strategy from Mouz Sports right now.
Yeah, some of the heroes that VP absolutely need to be an important factor in the game right now are not. Beastmaster, NS has had a... I mean, he was isolated from the very beginning by the fact that their laning was extremely weird, and I mean, we knew that right from the draft, that they would have to sort of figure out creative ways of getting the Beastmaster XP. And now he's the lowest level person on the map. He's level 9. His Roar is still level 1. It is a 3-second disable, but it could be a 4 if he was 16 right now. So he's low level. Tame My Wild has had an extremely tough game on Puck. 0-6 now. He's level 13. He's 4 levels behind Fata, to make no mention of the other core heroes on Mouz, who are just very, very high level and farmed. And so, other than Airman, who has had a great game on Lifestealer, VP are struggling to actually get the rest of these heroes into positions that they can actually make an impact.
Yeah, we see that there's actually 3 heroes of virtus.pro just hanging around, waiting until Mouz Sports show themselves on the map, because right now nobody is showing themselves. We see that Fada is hiding behind a tree here. It is also nighttime, so the vision wouldn't be there. Look at how careful they are. This is just waiting. They know that they're safe here in the Radiant Jungle, because they do have the wards and the sentry wards.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they're just waiting it out.
Quakwa just farmed the entirety of VP's jungle. That's no farm available in the jungle for virtus.pro. A nice Force Staff, actually, Fata getting away from... NS was in the middle of casting Roar there, and Fata just Force Staffed out of range. Barely out of range, but out of range nonetheless. So, Mouz are farming more of the map, they're controlling it, and VP, I think the issue is that they basically have to double down on a losing proposition. They kind of need to find some of these kills, especially on isolated Mouz heroes, but getting those kills is hard, especially if Mouz reinforces. And there's still, what, 4 minutes on Aegis? 3.5? Tons of time that Klinks has 2 lives.
Yeah, and the Klinks has an MKB, and Koifa has an MKB. I mean, Mouz Sports is getting bigger and bigger by the minute, and right now, only Lifestealer is standing in between them and the base. So Koifa roared up, and he will be dropping. Well, that's him being a bit involved more in fights, I guess. That's great for virtus.pro. It is.
Yes, they're like, thank you for getting involved in the fights.
But they are doing the right thing. They're just waiting until someone, one person comes. I mean, we see them standing again. I mean, they're just gonna wait it out 1 minute until that roars up again, and they're gonna try again.
And that's exactly what they need to do. We were just talking about this. VP really don't have a choice but to hope that Mouz makes a few mistakes with leaving these high-level heroes unattended and letting them die. That was a kill on a level 19 target. It's not to be underestimated. I mean, NS now level 10, Arsart now level 12. If they could get these supports really to better level positions, especially if they could get Arsart as an alternate damage dealer to Airman, I think VP could get back into this game no problem. They're behind very, very substantially, but Mouz don't have an amazing high grounding lineup. They mostly have an amazing killing lineup. Clinks is a pretty good pusher though. I mean, he has MKB, so he can do things like sit on the edge of the low ground and just hit the tier 3 with strafe. I don't know. It's gonna be tough for VP. They have to make sure Mouz don't try to high ground by just keeping them on their side of the map.
Yeah, we saw it before from virtus.pro though. I mean, they were behind yesterday in the game as well, and they were able to make it back from it, and they just keep their cool the whole time, and are just able to continue just holding their ground and creating space for themselves. But this could be the first game that we see a Silencer lose from virtus.pro. And by the way, virtus.pro so far have been unbeaten in StarLadder Star Series. So this could also be their first time that they actually drop a map.
And what's Mouz's record, Sheever?
I believe it's 2-3, or 4-2. They lost 2 matches, I believe.
Huh. So who did they lose to, actually? Do you remember?
I have got stats somewhere, but...
Oh, Black! Black!
Black walks right into that. Oh my god. They are doing exactly... Oh, they run. They use the roar. They don't want to try and kill him off again. And the whole Mouz team is here already. Let's see what they can do now. Sinrin looking for maybe something, but nobody is there anymore. This is Mousesport's high ground. They know the roar is on cooldown. This is their chance to go and find themselves a tier 3 tower or more. Fada already going up the high ground with the Firefly, looking for Blink Lasso, finds Airman, the Rage is there, the Global Silence is there as well, but the BKBs are there as well. But it is still Airman that is alive. He tries to do something, tries to eat up Quickfire, but he goes down, he buys back though, and that buyback, it looks like it's enough to force down Mouz. I mean, they use their BKBs. There goes the Dream Coil, it was a fake back, maybe. Cinderin goes down though. Airman looking for a new target. There is no more Demonic Purge, but there is a lot of damage. And that damage is enough to bring down Airman for the second time. And Ness will drop as well. Arsart on the run. But can he run from this? I doubt it. I doubt it sincerely. Gem of Truesight once again on the floor. And they chase down the 2 remaining heroes of virtus.pro. Vacuum will try to prevent them from going in on the racks, but they need to try something. Otherwise they lose just more than the racks. KSI. Mechanism Pop trying to survive. There goes a Blinken and the Silence. Tamar Wild trying to do what he can. Lasso up on KSI though, and KSI goes down because here comes Black. Once again goes for the tier 3 next. As Tamar Wild has a solo puck. You're a control hero at its best. But who are you gonna control things for? Nobody.
Yeah, so what happens there is VP buys back the Lifestealer. Mouz is more or less happy with this trade. But VP aren't happy because they used the Global Silence, they traded it for all the Black King Bar charges, but that's not a fantastic trade since you end up with a 140-second cooldown and Mouz just attempts it again when you don't have Global Silence. So VP are like, we bought back this Lifestealer, we want to make something happen, and they don't have any BKBs. Surely this is a fight we can take. And unfortunately, they may get Black here, but it wasn't a fight that they could take. He's actually
Mechanism,
still alive.
There we go. He goes down still though, but so does Ines. Airman, he's actually finding illusions right now. Finds himself the real one. Fada doesn't have enough mana for a lasso, otherwise he might be able to go for it. But nope, that's 2 sets of racks gone. Oh, do you really want to go in right now? Vacuum. And that is going to be Fada going down though. He buys back. It is also the gyro going down. This could be a big fight for virtus.pro, but the lasso is there because Fada is back in this. He bought Boots of Travel, and it's Illidan and KSI that end up dropping. And that is a team wipe once again, a buyback from KSI because you need to throw out everything. Because if you're going to lose otherwise anyway, you might as well give it a go. But what is he going to do? Nothing.
That was actually a pretty excellent wall, to be fair, but it was very, very, very late in the day for the walls to finally work. That was the first wall that really even did anything. And unfortunately, Mouz, I mean, the thing with Clinks is right now Black deals 400 damage pre-crit, pre-Searing Arrows, so about 450 pre-crit. And then if he crits, it's about double that. Add that to the fact that there's a maxed Soul Catcher from Nino, and your Lifestealer, if he's silenced, will absolutely melt. We were talking about how if they land a silence on Lifestealer and Shadow Demon is in the vicinity, Lifestealer dies, and that ended up being the climactic encounter because it was post-buyback.
Yeah, we do have KSI going down again. Arsart getting chased out of his base. The Flame Break will catch him though. In the meantime, Black is just taking care of the throne.
Well played to Mouz, honestly. I would say right from a very nice draft that they put together, and then fairly excellent coordination as well, knowing what they needed to do, ensuring that Black got into that position, sniping the gem, not once but twice. Oh, I guess they're 5-1. I guess they only lost one, according to K-pop anyway.
Ooh, 5-1,
So,
yeah.
it comes down to the fact that Mouz kept an eye on VP, especially on where they were getting their gems of true sight, and made VP fear the Clinks the whole game through, because they only had intermittent access to detection.
Yeah, and even though Mousesports' top lane, of course, didn't really go flawlessly, just having that security line with Black farming, and of course having the mid lane working out for them as well, was enough for them to take the game, in the end, very convincingly. I'm gonna say, like, there's gonna be a break, because we have basically got an hour break, because there was a game scheduled that got removed or postponed, rescheduled on request of the team, one of the teams that was playing. So I will already do some shoutouts right now, because I know a lot of you people will leave and will be going somewhere else. I hope that you enjoyed the extra stats in this game. Shout out to K-poptosis for that, because he was responsible for that. As you see, that's sitting in the overlay as well. I actually quite enjoyed it. How about you?
I thought the stats were fantastic, and it's much less pressure, and I don't have to be looking stuff up while casting at the same time. Pretty great, honestly.
I thought so too, and I hope the people also thought it, and let us know what you thought about it, and yeah, we'll be reading it for sure. You want to do any shoutouts already?
Oh well, we have more games today.
We have more games. Okay, so we are gonna be having a break. After that, we'll see virtus.pro again. This time up against the very aggressive team Power Rangers, the one that, like you already said yesterday, we haven't seen a boring game of them yet. They always make something happen, always do something unorthodox. And after that is Power Rangers versus OSG, but that all starts in 1 hour from now, so we're gonna have a 1 hour break. I got some movies for you in the meantime, got some music for you in the meantime, commercials, everything that you can think of. So we'll be back with you soon, and stick around.